Well, really what I'm all about is connecting to kids. I really think that that's my reason to be as far as working with kids. If you look at my words that I write, or the way I sing, the way I interact with an audience, it's all about connection. It's all about just being able to have kids feel like they can trust you. And that's something that I've always been able to do with my own kids. Whenever I meet a new child, for some reason I'm the Pied Piper sometimes. I seem to have a way to connect with kids, and I really want to be able to be in an environment, whether it's on stage or whether it's reading to children in a library, or maybe someday I'll be on television. And if I'm on television, what I really want to do is what I've done with my children and my children's friends all their life, is to just have them be able to grow and develop, and to work with them so that they can learn to be creative. I'd like to be able to teach them to be creative. I'd like to be able to use music. I'd like to be able to encourage them to do art, to encourage them to do dance, to encourage them to express themselves. If you meet a 7-year-old child today who's coming from a good environment and is well educated and well stimulated, they are incredible little brains. It's like a dual processor Mac computer or something like that, how much these children are capable of and how much they enjoy being involved. And you know, with technology today, we can use technology in a creative fashion. We can teach children not to be intimidated by technology, and not necessarily to be dominated by technology or dependent on it. We can teach children to use technology to develop their own creativity. And it's all just really a question, when you're dealing with children, of encouraging the development of their own self-esteem. There's nothing more important in child development, in my view, than positively reinforcing children by telling them that they look good, by telling them that they've done good, by telling them that they're the best at what they do, and to keep positive reinforcement in place. And that's what it's all about as far as positive child raising is, particularly in the age group that I'm dealing in, which in my music in particular, which is in that sort of 6 to 11 mid group that isn't really being addressed by a lot of children's entertainers. A lot of them take the young developing route, which is fun and it's very valuable and all the rest of it. But the tougher challenge is in that mid-range, because these kids are starting to challenge you. Their brains are starting to work harder. They're starting to look for other answers. And yet we've got a school system where we're cutting back on physical education, we're cutting back on music, we're cutting back on the liberal arts. These are all the things that these children need to develop, and these are all the things that I'd like to bring to a television environment. So if in a perfect world, because I always like to think in a perfect world, if the children were coming home from school, they could sit down and they could enjoy the types of things that they're missing. They could enjoy music, they could enjoy learning how to write, they could enjoy learning how to dance, they could just get up off their butts and do something, because physical exercise is so important to children. And the more we can do those kind of things in a television environment, the more positive it can be. It's about connecting with kids, it's about content, it's about real content. It's not blah 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 kind of content, put it on there, do a bunch of nice animation. I'm talking about connecting. I'm talking about what all the great children's entertainers have done over the years, is they've been able to, one-on-one, through the camera lens or on stage or in a reading environment, is really connect with children, whether it's the Friendly Giant or Captain Kangaroo or any of the greats who've done this job. They've managed to, again, develop a trusting relationship with children so that they learn, they prosper, they have fun, they laugh, and basically they get to enjoy themselves, because let's face it, kids today are pretty darn busy, just like their parents are. They need an opportunity to express themselves creatively. That's what I want to do. That's what I've been doing in my midlife, is really expressing my creativity. And I think the more we can teach children how to be creative, the more successful they're going to be in the future. And that's what LP Creative is all about. LP Camozzi, that's what we want to do. We want to be creative, we want to have fun, we want to laugh, we want to enjoy, we want to interact, we want to treat children as young, developing human beings, not as some sort of add-on to your family. And parents too. I mean, I have to proud of the fact that I've been a successful parent. I've got 3 children who have gone through university, and we've taught them independence. We've taught them how to fend for themselves. These are things that are so critical, especially in that age group, in that 6 to 10 to 11-year-old age group. So that's what we're all about. LP Kamosi, just call me LP, long playing, whatever you want to call me. If you want to talk about connecting, you want to talk about show development, you want to talk about putting some of my creative ideas, which are deep and continuing to come, into a format that works in television or even on radio, then I'd be interested in talking to you. That's my pitch, and I'm LP, and thanks for listening.